What is going on, everyone's? We are here. We are back with another episode of
Is My Point Valid?
Yes, indeed. I am your host, Brandon D. Stocker.
And I am Camille A. Stocker.
And we are Stocker Family Values as a collective. Show is. We're going to go ahead and jump into this episode with What You Know Good. So, baby, tell them what you know good.
All right. I got new music.
Huh.
Honest, I have a lot of things on my What You Know Good because a lot has happened. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the Silk Sonic album.
Huh.
If you don't know who that is that's Bruno Mars, Anderson .Paak.
I'ma leave the
Yeah.
door open.
That song. It's a whole 70s vibe.
Huh.
That's what they're on.
Throwback.
A whole 70s vibe. They got Bootsy Collins on there. Bootsy,
Skate to me,
baby.
baby.
They got Bootsy Collins on there. I enjoyed it. It's short, right to the point. Real good. The next album that I'm going to talk about is Adele's album. It's good.
But she ain't rolling in the deep no more.
It's a good album. If you listen to it, it's like your emotions, so you don't want to get caught up in it. The one song that I really do like is called A Little Love. It's like kind of for mothers. Like if you're a mother and you know that sometimes things are like hard and you try and figure it out, and your children look at you like superheroes, and you thinking like, oh my gosh,
What am I doing?
I'm failing at this. But your child is kind of like, it's okay to be sad, mommy, and like stuff like that. But it's a good album. On Thursday is Thanksgiving, so
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. If you're going to celebrate with your family, with your friends,
All
happy
good
Thanksgiving.
Good eating, good drinking.
So on Friday is my mother's birthday, so happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday,
Mama. We will be celebrating you.
Absolutely.
Next up on my What You Know Good.
What you know?
So Miss Lisa Renee Stocker has the book, and it's out, and it's right now.
Right now.
And you can go get it
on Amazon.
And we will leave the link in the description box
Absolutely.
below. It is called 17 Days Until. Prepare your heart, mind, and soul for the trial of a loved one.
It's a process. Let me tell you, it's a process.
If you know anybody or you personally are going through this is a book for you, because my mother-in-law has experienced this firsthand.
Absolutely.
We have experienced it firsthand, but I cannot imagine from her perspective as a mother going through that. So we will leave the link in the comments below. Not in the comments, in the description box. And so check that out. And congratulations on this, mother-in-law.
That's my mother. Yeah.
All right, so those are all happy things. I guess I wouldn't say this is happy, but her book kind of leads into, something that this family might need as well. Julius Jones was convicted in 2002 for first-degree murder. If you do not know who Julius Jones is, he was he was on death row. He was set to be executed, I believe that was on Wednesday. And then the Oklahoma governor was like, very last minute, was like, you know what? I'm going to grant him clemency. Let's give him life without parole.
Playing with folks' lives.
Let's give him life without parole. So they did. They waited the last minute he did all his last. They give you your last meal, all that. They set him up, I feel like. But he will have life without parole, and he is sticking to that. He did not kill this man. He didn't do it. So
Guilty until proven innocent.
Yeah. So, the last thing on my what you know good. Oh, and then these last two, they're like really, y'all know what I'm talking about. They not this news. Kyle Rittenhouse verdict on Friday. His verdict was of not guilty. And that was he was not guilty of the intentional homicide and with the 4 other charges, which was killing those 4 people last year during that lockdown. We were in lockdown. So he was, I can't remember his age. I should have looked that up. But I think he was underage, and he was talking about it was self-defense, but we're about. So yeah. So those last 2 that we kind of talked about, we haven't. Oh, that's the topic. My bad. You supposed to go.
Well, hey, you can just roll right on into it.
I'm so sorry. That was it for what you know good.
Let's officially get into it.
What you know good.
What the topic for today is going to be, rolling right on along, because I got so much to say about that stuff, but we're going to leave it alone.
The topic for today is That's a Wrap. For the past 3 episodes, I believe, we have been talking about the system. Different ways the system to us is broken and fixed, broken. We were trying to give examples of if this is really how it's set up. And so I figured instead of us just prolonging this any longer and keep going, 2 major things, and there's a lot more cases. I don't want to sit here and just, pull out everything that's happening. But these 2 are like the highlight of what's happening in the news today. And so you see people like, well, that's America. I didn't expect him to be guilty, right? Because it's
self-defense.
It's self-defense. Or, and you look at, well, I didn't expect Julius Jones to, get out or not have life without parole, or, those type of things. So we've having these conversations, and like that's a wrap. How much? I mean, I know we have to continue to have the conversation, but you can't keep talking about things,
dwelling.
Yes, and you see that these
on the obvious,
and you're right, and you see that these things are continuing to happen. You see one verdict for Julius Jones, how the governor was playing with his life. Like, you're playing with life. But for the Rittenhouse man, his life wasn't played with.
Not at all. So, matter of fact, the judge was actually on his side.
Yeah.
Through the whole trial. So it's kind of funny how we get the short end of the stick all the time, even when there's no real evidence linking us to anything. But when there is video showing our counterparts doing the same things that we are being convicted of, they go in the courtroom, they cry like little babies. I could use other words, but we're gonna leave that alone. And they play these I'm remorseful type of roles. Like when they told him he was not guilty, what you falling out for?
Because I think he thought he was gonna be guilty.
But that was a bit dramatic.
I think he thought he was gonna be guilty.
I would have let that boy hit the floor. But anyway,
he would have been guilty. So we've been talking about it and looking at ways. And I remember on our last video, we were talking about, homelessness and hunger in America. And then I think our first video, we were talking about the jail system. And how it's set up. So I've just come to the conclusion of course we have to fight. That's never ending, right? We're going to have to continue to fight. If we do want a change, we're going to have to fight. I still feel a way about having people on death row. I still feel like how do you judge someone, or how can you take life And you know what? You might be taking a life and they really didn't do it.
Exactly.
You know,
there's no way for you to know for sure that these people are doing the things that you are saying that they're doing. So how can you take their lives based on, I don't even know what to call it.
Right. And then you have Rittenhouse, who took lives. Like, he
deliberately
we watched him
on
take lives
camera,
and he didn't get any type of punishment. Like,
you ran past the police with an AR-15.
Like, he didn't get any type of punishment.
That man is at home with his family right now.
So he gets to go home, be for the holidays.
Yeah.
Like George Zimmer, whatever his name was.
That guy, the Z guy.
And he kept getting in trouble when he got out, but they never did anything.
He was a proven menace.
Yes. And so it's like, the system is not broken. The system is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. The system was not built for people of color.
Any color.
The system was not built for us. If you look at who wrote the Constitution, the Declaration, there were people from England, who came over and said, well, we don't want to be dictated by this king. So we're going to come here and we're going to do what we want to do. So yes, it's all interesting. I really don't know what else to say. I was watching something, a TikTok that I had saw, and what was so interesting is I have been teaching our daughters about the settlements in Virginia and how when it first started, the white man was able to like have a black woman, right? It didn't matter, whatever. And so, well, it mattered because he was married to a white woman, but he was having relations with the black women, and the black women would have children, and the children were mixed of, and there was a law, which is so interesting, that was written by King George, I believe. Don't quote me. I'll have to link it below. But that the white women were able to kill those children.
Able to.
Yes. Because when I first saw it, I was like, oh, they're protecting the children. It was like, keep reading, keep going. Yeah. No. So when you look at cartoons like Bugs Bunny or, Elmer Fudd or something, and they have the black lady with the hand, and she hits, and then she has the skillet, and she hits Thomas upside the head, the cat, Tom and Jerry, and she hits him upside the head. That's what these white women were doing to the children. They were taking pans and skillets and stuff and hitting them on top of the heads, and that was like their way of saying, hey. And so it's kind of, I guess they were able to do this because you see mixed children, or they were calling them caramel children running around looking exactly like your husband, but they're not yours. And so
they got some color to them.
So all of this it's interesting because there are laws out there that have been written to these laws are basically telling us what is happening. We are not taking what they are saying because we keep thinking that we are inclusive in this, and we're not included in it. And so I know it's the thing of like, well, what do we do? I don't know what we do, but we have to get out of our brains that this was built for us to succeed. I mean, we could succeed like all day, we push through and we gonna succeed, but the system was not. Look at research and see how many people are in prison and what color they are. Look at the difference. We talked about the school systems. Look at the difference in, if you are in Houston, if you're in, the Heights, or if you're in Jersey Village, if you're in
and they're even rezoning schools and communities to keep us oppressed.
Yes. If you're looking at the schools, oh, why is this school just having a lot of black kids? And if you sprinkle in, a couple of black children here, with
a few Mexicans,
a few. And it's interesting because it was not set up for us. And then with that, I question, like, well, why do we integrate? Like,
what's the point?
Well, no, I get what the point was for integrating, but it's just like, if you want to be segregated so much, like, what is it? Like, and then, you'll have people say, well, I want everybody to win. You don't want everybody to win, because if you wanted me to win, poor areas would have excellent teachers. Teachers,
the same resources that y'all have, we would have.
Teachers who care, the same supplies and all of this, and really putting into what a student needs, and you're looking at things. And I remember watching Project Daddy say that the system is, you go to this school, you start in elementary, then you go to middle school, you go to high school, and you're already in a system, but you're already set up. If you're in an area that's not going to succeed, your time after high school is basically in the jail, because that's
you're
what
accounted for.
Right. And it's like, it's money too. At the end of the day, I think everything that it boils down to is about money. If a child is not in a seat in the classroom, that's missing money. And from elementary all the way to high school. So it's and you're looking at the system right now, the school system, and people are homeschooling their children, so they're losing money.
Yeah.
And so now that they're losing money, they're going to try and figure out a way. Well, hold on, I need these kids back in. They say in this, that won't take for a couple of years, and I'm really, really hoping that won't take effect until the girls are graduated and all that, because this, you're saying I don't have full control over my child. Basically, you are telling me, the parent whom I birthed, I need this child in this seat, and I need them to go all the way to 12th grade. And if they are in a good district, they'll go to college and they'll succeed. If they're in a terrible district, they'll be,
we're going to make some money off you either way.
It'll be low wage. You work a low wage job, or you'll be in jail. It's not, it is not for us. It's not for us. And we just have to look at everything and see, that it wasn't set up for us. And that's why I say that's a wrap. Will this conversation continue? Absolutely, because the conversations always have to be had, and we always have to see other people's perspectives. In this journey, you've seen my perspective, you've seen Brandon's perspective, you see that we are seeing things maybe not the same, but differently. And I don't want my words to fall on deaf ears, of course not, but it's like, I hope that my message does get through to somebody, and they're like, and
spark the conversation within your circle.
There needs to be conversations. We have to stop sweeping things under the rug. We sweep a lot under the rug because we don't want that attention. And I'm like that. I don't want attention. But if you want change, you have to have that attention. You have to have that conversation. You're going to have to talk to some people that you do not want to talk to. You're going to have to explain to your children that this is what it is. Yeah. And I explained to the girls, this is what it is. But although this is what it is, you don't treat people any different because they're human. I don't, of course, if somebody treats you, hits you or something stuff like that. But if you walk out of your home with love in your heart and just kindness, people won't bother you, because I feel like that's how I've lived. I walk out, I'd be like, minding my own business, and people walk up to me and compliment me and things like that. So I know that's easier easier said than done. But yeah,
right then it was easier done than said.
Yeah, so it's just we have to continue to have these conversations, and we also have to have these conversations with our children because they are the future. I
believe the children are the future.
They are our future. They will be running things. We also need to start making sure that we get these older people out of office. How is it okay? Like, I read this as well. How is it okay for people to, at 65, your regular job, you have to retire, but you're 80-something still in office running
with your old school mentality,
right? With these messed up rules, these messed up ideologies, and you're saying, low key racist because that's what you grew up. If you're that lineage,
it ain't even low key.
It's just right there in your face. Like, did they just say that?
Deliberate.
So I will continue to say we need to change. Of course, this will not be the last episode of us talking about stuff like this. This is just the wrap of that whole series because I am not about to keep going on about that. Do you understand? I want to talk about some happy stuff.
Happy stuff.
So, yeah. Real quick, me and the girls are reading, celebrating Native American Heritage Month. And we're reading this book called Soft Rain, the Trail of the... I can never get the next part. I'll link it in the description. But basically, in the book, they're like, the white man came and took them. And literally, that is what happened. He came and took them. And so the on-running joke is, y'all, who took the Native Americans? And the girls be like, the white man. It's funny. I'm sorry. But that's what it says in the book. And so
blame it on the book.
Why I'm saying that is because although I'm asking them and questioning them on that, I also have the talk. You don't go out in the world and be like, well, the white man, you don't do that. And why I'm saying you don't do that is because they do that to us. That's what that's what I'm saying. That black person, them blacks, and they look all the same.
Them colors.
I don't look like her. You better stop. Straight up. So I'm teaching because it's easy to say, well, that but you have to teach it and teach kindness to children as well because, like I said, they are the future. But that's a wrap.
That is a wrap.
Yep.
So, before we go ahead and get on up out of here, we're going to bust you in the head one time with, on this day in Black History. So, this one's short and sweet, but on this day, November the 21st in 1934, at the age of 17, Miss Ella Fitzgerald made her singing debut at the Apollo Theater in Harlem, New York. So, among some of the greats, Michael Jackson, James Brown, Lauryn Hill, Jimi Hendrix, the Isley Brothers, Gladys Knight, and Prince. But before them was Miss Ella Fitzgerald. In 1934, at the age of 17, she made her way to the amateur night at the Apollo stage. Like so many others debuting at the Apollo night at the amateur night at the Apollo, Fitzgerald walked into the spotlight and launched her career as a megastar. The First Lady of Song, Fitzgerald, was a jazz singer with remarkable vocal talents. She enjoyed a career in show business that lasted over a century. In her lifetime, she produced over 70 albums. Miss Ella Fitzgerald made her singing debut today in 1934 on Apollo. Shout out to Miss Ella Fitzgerald.
Yeah, there's a documentary about her on Netflix. Very, very good. She didn't do any drugs. She
She was straight.
She
Yeah,
was
she
like,
was a straight shooter.
And she would get on stage and she would just scat. Like they said, they don't know how she did it. She would just start scatting and just. Oh my God! She was real. I think like the only issue she had, she didn't want to be married. Like she wanted that, but she worked so much that she was like, this is it, and so that's why she is greatness.
Absolutely. And that was on this day in Black history. So once again, thank you to everyone who continues to support the Stocker family. Is my point valid? Brandon, Camille, everything that we do, thank you. Y'all continue to lock in with us every week. We have brand new episode, brand new topics we're going to hit y'all in the head with. So, catch us on all podcast platforms. So,
yes.
Yeah. Thank you. We appreciate it. And see y'all next week. Stay blessed. Have a blessed week.